Hello, hello everyone. It is Weather for Weather Geeks time on this Wednesday, a wintry Wednesday across the valley. Some places have picked up an inch to perhaps even an inch and a half, 2 inches worth of snow. So far today, here's just a handful of reports called into the National Weather Service. Not many in our viewing area. New Philly's had an inch and a half, Pittsburgh about an inch. They're probably pushing 2 by now, about an inch and a half down towards the Wheeling area. And what we have going on right now is mostly light snow across our viewing area. It does get a little bit heavier as you go down into southeastern parts of Columbiana County, into Beaver County. I'm recording this, by the way, at about 2 p.m. And then you run into some real bona fide squalls over towards Pittsburgh and then heading east. And this squall line will make for some really tricky travel. I-80 and the PA Turnpike over the next several hours, over the mountainous terrain of west central PA, then eventually heading over towards the I-99 corridor, Altoona, up to State College and Williamsport. Some real good snow squalls for the rest of the day. I think for us, we're going to get into kind of a lull here mid-afternoon. We're sure it's going to spit snow a little bit, but a lot of this action you see out here is real light. It's going to push in. Then we'll be watching towards evening, probably after sunset, for some snow showers to re-emerge out of northwest Ohio and head our way. I'll show you the computer models in just a second. But certainly a lot of snow shower activity lining up along and ahead of our Arctic front. There's even a chance for some thunder snow down in parts of Virginia and North Carolina. I guess I wouldn't even be shocked if we had some lightning strikes up into Pennsylvania this afternoon. But where we have this green area, that's where there is an enhanced risk of some thunder and lightning with the snow shower activity this afternoon. So that's that's always a cool thing. The satellite shows a lot of clouds and of course snow cover. As I bring up the temperatures this afternoon, boy, this Arctic air mass looks pretty impressive once again. Look at these numbers, mid-afternoon numbers up in the upper Midwest, single digits above and below zero out here, and all of that is heading our way. It's going to be a shot of Arctic air much like we just had Saturday through Monday. It's basically a repeat performance with snow showers and squalls, followed by harsh wind chills and pretty bad actual temperatures as well. All right, let's bring up our latest high-res model, the high-resolution rapid refresh model. It's a computer model. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's run once an hour. It goes out only 15 hours into the future, so it's a real short-term model, but it's like having a camera with a lot of megapixels. It's a very sharp model, high resolution. It's able to see smaller features better than some other models. Now, like all computer models, it has its bad days and its good days. This model in particular kind of overdoes it sometimes with the coverage of precipitation. For example, I just showed you the radar as I record this. Here's what the model thinks the radar looks like, and then, whoops, then I'm going to show you the actual radar. As you can see, it's overdone. It has too much precipitation. That said, it does pick out the nice banding features pretty well here over towards Pittsburgh. It's just a little overdone with some of this action out to the west. It's jumping the gun a little bit. But nonetheless, it's, like all models, just a tool that we use. Let's go forward a few hours now to 5 p.m. What you see here is a scattering of snow showers throughout the region. Nasty squall line. Again, I-99 corridor, central PA. Sure enough, I'm sure there'll be, unfortunately, some accidents on I-80. There always are when there's snow squalls over there. Same idea down along the PA Turnpike or Interstate 76. But scattered snow showers, you might get a heavier squall even around here this evening, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Here's 7 o'clock. And then after that, 9 o'clock, things are beginning to wind down. I think snow shower activity will be most common early this evening with a waning trend later on. So as you get up tomorrow morning, and here's the simulated radar on the NAM, there's not much going on. What is going on tomorrow morning is, of course, the cold air is here. Let's show you those temperatures tomorrow morning. We don't have the actual numbers, but those are cold colors. These are the temperatures tomorrow morning at daybreak. And when you start getting into the greens, we're talking well below zero. That doesn't even factor in the wind, which is going to be pretty harsh as well. Let me bring up the pressure analysis tomorrow morning. Show you how tightly packed together these isobars will be. Yeah, they're close together. So a lot of wind in through here tomorrow morning. So wind chills tomorrow morning probably down to about 15 below. Friday morning, as we've been talking about all week, will be the worst morning for the wind chills. Let's skip ahead then to Friday morning, the 20th. Look at this map. I mean, yikes. Now, the wind will not be as strong Friday morning, but just like we had Monday morning, even with just a slight breeze, we're going to see wind chills down to 25 below with high pressure centered over the Ohio River, a mostly clear sky, fresh snow cover. You know, there's going to be some places in northeast Ohio that touch -20, and some of those real cold nooks and crannies, just like Monday morning, -25 perhaps. While at the Youngstown Warren Airport, where the official records are kept, -12, -13. It'll be a record breaker, that is for sure, Friday morning. All right, so let's talk about the weekend then. And if you've been following my posts and my videos, you know there's a storm coming this weekend. And the question has been, this is going to be a situation that's not cut and dry. And, you know, unfortunately, it'd be nice if we just had a storm where it just snowed and we didn't have to worry about mixing. We've had some of those, but these are the most frustrating types where you have to worry about precipitation type. Let's set this up. This is Friday evening. We're still quiet. Here's Saturday morning with some light snow breaking out here on the GFS model Saturday morning. And I think there will be some snow at varying intensity Saturday during the daylight hours. A lot of the time it might actually be pretty light. It might get progressively heavier towards afternoon and evening, but a lot of the time Saturday, I think your travel plans will be okay. You're going to have to keep it slow, but until we get to towards the end of the afternoon and evening, a lot of the snow might be pretty light. But towards evening it might pick up in intensity. But also, as we head towards evening, the precip type becomes a little bit of an issue. Notice the green, the rain is crossing the Ohio River here at 7 o'clock Saturday evening, heading north. And yes, indeed, the GFS just changes it right over to rain overnight. Maybe a brief period of mixing, but just a rainy night advertised Saturday night here on the GFS. The GFS was the first model to have this idea, and now the European and Canadian are getting on board with that idea that at some point between Saturday evening and the overnight into Sunday morning, we're going to see a changeover. At the very least, some mixing with some sleet, but probably just a changeover to rain for a time. Then we get into Sunday morning. Here's Sunday morning at daybreak. We're still in the warm sector according to the GFS, still raining. And then the cold air will rush back in, and there could be some snow showers on the backside of this. At this point, I wouldn't expect a lot of additional accumulations during the daylight hours Sunday, but there probably will be a changeover back to some snow showers during the day. So confidence is increasing in the sequence of events here. Snow, followed by rain, then followed by perhaps some leftover snow showers on Sunday. So the question is, well, how much snow are we going to get? And that question is still a tough one. Let me minimize my, or squeeze down my browser a little bit here. The SREF, Short Range Ensemble Forecast Model, is something I like to look at in the short range. Saturday is right in this zone right here. It doesn't give us much, maybe an inch. And that's largely because it does start to bring in higher chances for rain pretty early in the game compared to some of the other models. Notice the green is heading up here already by mid to late afternoon on Saturday, according to the SREF. Other modeling, the European is heavier with the snow, I will tell you that. Would suggest that we see a good 5-6 inches before the rain. I think that's too high at this point. So what I'm looking at right now is an increased confidence in something like, don't take this verbatim, first stab, but something like a 2 to 4 inch snow Saturday into Saturday evening, followed by rain Saturday night. So that's our first kind of stab at this, exclusive to weather for Weather Geeks. Don't know if I'm going to put those numbers on the air yet tonight because, again, confidence not super high. But it'll be a nuisance snow, probably not a crippling sort of thing, Saturday evening. Everybody's wondering, when's the pattern going to change? We've got this cold shot, there it is, right here, coming. Then next week, another cold shot for middle of the week. This is next Wednesday, a week from today. Look at this pattern, just a repeat. Big trough in the west, big ridge, I should say, in the west, big trough in the east. So another cold shot middle of next week. After that, finally starting to see some signs of some change towards the following weekend and the 1st of March. Here's March 2nd, Monday. Now this is not exactly a toasty pattern, but notice the lines are moving like straight across the country here, not coming straight out of Siberia. So our air mass will probably be Pacific in origin as we start March. Doesn't mean it's going to be 60, but it means, hey, it might not be like it is now, teens and 20s for highs. So here's the 16-day GFS temperature outlook. Here's the Arctic shot for the next couple of days. Here's that next week's shot, harshest probably around Tuesday into Wednesday. You know, this has the coldest day being Monday. I suspect that's a little too fast. But anyway, after that, I like the trend here. Here's the beginning of March right here. Could start to see some more tolerable weather as we transition out of meteorological winter and into meteorological spring, March 1st. Another nice sign. Pitchers and catchers reported for the Indians today, and the sunset this evening will be at 6 o'clock. So, it's things to hang our hats on. A little optimism. That's today's weather for Weather Geeks. Full update tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11 on social media. Put meteorologist in front of my name to find me on Facebook, and I am Eric WFMJ on Twitter.